Okay, so hey, welcome. Same great show, different time. All right, we're talking more liposuction, fat transfer, how to get rid of these big bellies, these hanging bellies forever, and how, more importantly, how to maintain and how to keep them away, how to become that person that deserves to have a body like this. If you think that this procedure is just pay for it and you magically get this type of body, you know, you're going to have short-term results. The people that maintain and do the things that are necessary to live their best life and continue to improve their life, they're the ones that get this stuff. They're the ones that 3, 4 years down the road are better and continue to improve. And if you follow their journeys, you'll see there's going to be some people that fall off the wagon. There's going to be some people that excel and rise above. And so the question that you need to ask yourself is, who are you going to be? Are you going to be the one that falls off the wagon and drops down to the bottom, or are you going to be the one that's pulling people up from behind, trying to help them out? Because you have the discipline, you have the willpower, you have the ability to make the decision in your life. That's the power that we all have. We all have the power to make the decision to become whatever you want to be. Now, maybe you've done stuff your younger days, you've lived a certain way, excuse me, and you're just tired of it. It's like you tried it once and it didn't work. So now it's time to try something different. And what you come to find out is that we as humans, we were taught certain, you know, protocols. We were downloaded information when we were kids. We said this is the way it is, and this is the way you're supposed to do things, and most of us believed it just blindly. We just did because they said go. Get in line, follow. Do just look at the person behind you and do the same thing that they do. Like this is what the kids are taught all in school. I mean, it still happens nowadays, and so we're all programmed to just fall in line and do these things. And so many of us, we never question the things that we do. We just do it. And I'm the same way. So when you get to this certain level, when you start becoming more conscious, more aware of yourself and all the things around you, you realize that the things that you're doing, they're not necessarily in your best interest anymore. And in many cases, they're actually hurting you, and maybe they've caused the problems that you have. Like perhaps it's your dietary habits, the type of food that you habitually eat. So like on Thursdays we do whatever, Wednesdays are tacos, or Tuesday tacos or whatever. Like people have these habitual things that they do, and it's just like, oh, we've always done this. And so when you've always done this and then you don't like the way that you are, then you have to undo those things. You have to, out with the old and in with the new. Imagine it's like you're a painter, and you would never imagine trying to paint a new painting and use an old, you know, what do they call it?
Canvas.
Canvas, with paint on it already. You would get a fresh new one and clean one. So, and get rid of the old stuff and get a fresh new clean one to create the new. And so when you want to create the new you have to forget the old. You have to get rid of the old. And in many cases, that's your dietary patterns, your habits. It's your habits that you're doing as far as exercise and activity. So whatever movement you choose to do with your life, you have to habitually integrate it into your life. And as you do these things, it's like living your best life becomes second nature. It's like programmed and coded into you. Just like right now, being that heavier set person is encoded into you. It habitually happens, and you're sitting there like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't figure it out. Well, it's just coded in you. You were just told what to do so many times. It created these patterns, and you just do without even thinking. We all do this stuff. It's okay. Don't get mad about it. Just become conscious and wake up. Open your eyes and realize that you're doing habitual things that are not in your best interest. So now you can become aware of the situation and purposely extract the negative habits and input positive habits. I mean, think of this like a computer, right? And if you have software that you don't like, you delete it off, and then you download new stuff. It's the same thing. Think of your brain as the same way. We're getting rid of the old programs and we're inputting the new programs. This is the way we're going to do things from now on. Right? These are the rules that we're going to live by, the food that we're going to choose to eat, the times that we're going to choose to eat. You know, like, you have to make these choices. You make the choices, and then you just implement. And then you can encode it into you to where the habits just become second nature, and then living the good life is easy. It's so easy. I'm telling you, I was just thinking earlier today, how much easier it is for me being lean and flexible. I have so much energy. It's like my joints don't hurt. I'm 45 years old and I feel great. I don't have any signs of arthritis. I have zero signs of arthritis. And I feel great. I go running. I can run 5 miles if I decided that I want to do that. I just played soccer last night. I'm going to play it again tonight. And I feel great. And I know that I feel this way because of the things that I do, the habitual things that I do, the disciplines that I do on a daily basis. That's why I'm able to do these things. So a lot of people think so short-minded. They're like, well, I want to, like, say, I want to play soccer, so I'm gonna start, you know, running specifically, or, you know, like, as if like trying to get in shape for soccer, when the truth is like, if you don't have the foundational things, you're not drinking enough water, you're not eating the right foods, you don't have the core muscles, the basic stuff, you don't have the foundational things, you're not going to be able to do the bigger things. So instead of thinking about instead of thinking of all the big things that you need to do, start focusing on the little things that you need to perfect. Okay, I got a couple questions here, so let me run through this. Okay, what's up, Summer? Norma, Rachel, Mitchell, what's up? Rebecca. Okay, Summer Lewis, when can you go back to work after the procedure? So Summer, it obviously depends on what kind of work you do and which procedure you're getting. You know, I'd say, you know, our statistics showed about like 75-80% of the patients report that they're able to go back to work within 3 to 4 days following the procedure. Now, this is sedentary type work, so if your job is not sedentary, then it may take you a little bit longer. Also, if you're getting fat transfer to the butt, you know, going back to work might be a little bit more of a challenge if it is sedentary, if you're supposed to be sitting on your butt. So yeah, 3 or 4 days. It's not, you're going to be restricted by your discomfort and flexibility, this, you know, the swelling, things of that nature. What's up, Catherine? Okay. Yeah, right. Rachel, you're jumping right back in, answering questions. I appreciate it. What's up, Carol? Okay, let's see if we have any questions here. First time on IG. What's up, Miss Rachel?
Make sure you're telling me this is the first time. We also got the TikTok.
Yeah,
YouTube.
TikTok. Okay, so for those of you who aren't aware, we do have we're live right now on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We also just started our TikTok account, brand new there. So it's totally new content. TikTok is a different breed of people. So we're targeting, you know, I think it's a younger population. It's kind of cool. You'll see a different side of my shape and me and my team. It's kind of cool. The content that we're creating is funny, it's educational, it's pretty cool. And if you guys, you know, obviously you're probably trying to grow on TikTok as well, so it's a new platform. So if you want to help us out, whatever you can, please join us on TikTok. Okay, Rena on YouTube says, I'm very heavy set, so I'm sure I will need to come back for additional sessions. How much time in between, and will the quote include both sessions? Rena, so first of all, we have many people just like you. As you can see, we do treat very large individuals, and you have to break it up into multiple procedures. And it's not that we're treating the same area multiple times, we're doing different areas. So these ones, for example, is just the front of the abdomen. We get that huge bulk of fat off the front of your abdomen. Get that away, that's one procedure. Then the next procedure, we'll do the waist and the back to create that hourglass figure in the shape of your waistline. You know, so each of these procedures is just kind of think of it as steps in the journey. You don't have to do everything at once. It's not possible. So don't thinking that way. So just start thinking you're gonna do one thing at a time. This is front of the abdomen here. I'm telling you, this is a huge dramatic change. But we recommend that you wait at least a month in between each procedure. Now, it's going to be dependent on each individual. You may choose to wait longer depending on how you're healing, how the recovery is going, how you're feeling. So just, you know, you got to be flexible, but a month is the minimum that we wait. What's up, big beer snob? My dude's out in Belgium right now, partying it up. He's having a good time. So when he comes back, I'm gonna suck all that beer out of him. Okay. Rachel, nice. She says her 6-year-old daughter has over 7,000 followers on TikTok. I feel so lost there. Yeah, it's interesting. So TikTok's kind of cool. I'm not the type of person. I don't like to sit and you know be on these social media for hours. The longest I'm on social media is right now when I'm talking to you guys. But it is, I think it draws you in. It's funny. I know my kids are on there like all day long. So it's our world is changing. It's definitely different. It's a different population as well. The people on TikTok, it's like a funny stuff. You're doing it to music, so you're doing little dances and you're doing voiceover type stuff, and you have to get creative and become a content creator, right? What's up, Yuri? Sarah, Miss Queen, Diana, what's up? Okay. So, Rena, I hope I answered your question. We can help larger individuals, and it's about, I plan the 1 month in between. And again, it's a big financial commitment. It's a time commitment. It's a, recovery commitment. So there's a lot involved here. So try not to, don't overwhelm yourself with trying to do too much too quickly. It's kind of think of it how like they'll go to the gym and they're like, okay, my New Year's resolution on January 2nd, I'm gonna go for 7 days a week for 3 hours, and then you do that for 2 days and your muscles are burnt out and you can't do it anymore and you quit. So it's not that you're gonna quit after this, but just take your time. The Chinese proverb, 1,000-mile race, starts with the first step. So just take one step at a time and don't get ahead of yourself, and just focus on putting one foot in front of the other. And if you do that, you'll be able to continue putting one foot in front of another every single day, and you won't slide back. What's the recovery time, says Maribel Gonzalez, and the cost? So Maribel, that's a great question. We do have our quick quote system, and so up in the post here in Facebook, I pinned it on Instagram, and it's in the comments on YouTube, but there's a link for our quick quote system. So the quick quote system is your way to, when you click on that, first of all, there's a bunch of frequently asked questions and videos that I put on there to help inform you and educate you. There's also some photos that are specific to whatever your BMI. You're going to see pictures of people that look similar to you. Then through the quick quote system, you can answer some basic questions, and you'll be able to choose a specific treatment plan that fits most people in that category. So in that category, we utilize the BMI to categorize individuals, and it allows us to offer different quotes based off of the size, and we have different safety protocol depending on your size. So get the quick quote first. That's the first step. And then once you have an idea of what the pricing is, then and you're serious, you're ready to move forward, then the next step is getting your formal consultation. Everybody has to get a formal consultation as part of the procedure. I need to speak with everybody to make sure that we're on the same page and we have the proper plan and you agree and we want to work together. And again, the cost, Maribel, is on the quick quote, so you'll get the cost there. And then when you're ready, again, you get the formal consultation, where then everything is solidified and I verify that the quick quote was accurate, and that's exactly what we want to do for you, and answer whatever questions that you may have. What's up, Kat? Kat's Kat from iShape. She's here answering questions. And Kat speaks Spanish too, so if any of you Hispanic ladies, Españoles, she can help you out. What's up, Stacy? Stacy's one of our rock star liposuction goddesses. She's very, very active on the MyShape Lipo support group. So if you're new to this channel and you haven't joined our Facebook support group, this Facebook support group is awesome because you can connect with the actual individuals. So a lot of these pictures you'll see behind us are people that post the stuff publicly, and they share their stories, good and bad. So you'll get to see the real stuff. So it's not like just a great testimonial or a crappy testimonial. It's like you get to see good and bad from the same person. But not that it's bad. It's just it's part of the process, part of the journey. So you kind of start to understand for yourself what to expect, and then as there's always going to be potential issues, you can start to figure out how to avoid those issues and how to decrease the potential for those issues of happening for you. So following these individuals on the group is a phenomenal way for you to really feel better about your decision. Because if you're new to to this process, this procedure, you may be very skeptical of it. You may not know anybody that's had the procedure, and that's scary. And in those situations, you're always skeptical. I mean, until like the last day you show up. Like, I have patients like, I flew in from out of state, and I'm still wondering, like, does this guy even exist? Is the location that the office even there? And they're freaking out, and they show up. They're like, oh my God, thank God you're actually there. You're actually real. So when you connect with other people who have done this and they know us personally, they've met us, it gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling, and makes you feel confident and comfortable that you're going forward with and making the right decision for you. So it's a great way to do this. Maribel says, is this traditional liposuction? Maribel, the truth is nobody on this planet does traditional liposuction anymore, or the traditional liposuction in the form that you are likely talking about. Traditional liposuction, they used, first of all, it was only general anesthesia. They didn't use the tumescent technique, and the tumescent technique is where they inject the fluid into the fat layer, and that's really been a game changer, and everybody has adopted that technique. So it's called the tumescent technique, and we inject the fluid into the fat layer, and that numbs the area, as well as it decreases constricts the blood vessels, so it decreases the bleeding. So traditional liposuction, they would just cut a hole and start jamming away with these huge cannulas that were like thicker than my finger, right? They start jamming away, and people would end up getting, blood clots and, need transfusions and bad stuff. So that's the traditional way, and there's nobody on the planet that does it that way. So it's kind of a moot question. I mean, it's like there's no reason. As a marketer, an advertiser, I'm going to tell you we do the new stuff instead in comparison to the traditional. But the truth is nobody does traditional anymore. So this is just little educational stuff that there's games being played in the media to misdirect your thought process. So hopefully, if I can clear some of this stuff up for you, it'll allow you to make a better decision. Okay, Rachel, so we have a new pricing system. You haven't been here for a while. All right, that's cool. Okay, so I'll explain it to you. So yeah, Rachel, we have this new pricing system. No more, it's not per area. One of the issues that we were having when people were choosing per area is it allowed people to make stupid ass decisions. And I don't like it when people make poor decisions and I have to execute their poor plan. So what I did was I made it so we had package deals that included everything that needs to be included to get the best possible results. So for example, I'm not going to let you treat the lower abdomen and leave this big chunk of fat in the upper abdomen. It looks ugly, it's nasty, it's unnatural, nobody would ever do it. But I have done it before because patients ask for it. So no more. We also, where they would treat the abdomen, but they would not treat the pubic area. So we get this big belly, we make it flat, and then it looks like you have a package down below. Doesn't look good, so we cut that out. So now the front of the abdomen is all inclusive. It includes everything from the chest all the way down into the pubic area, and we go wide enough in order to get rid of the entire fold. So it's just everything's included, and you can call whatever areas you want, but the whole thing's included. It also includes smart lipo because that's the best way to go for the front of the abdomen. Then we have packages like for the waistline. It includes the entire area that I need to do to create the hourglass figure, to take out that lower back to create that natural arch and make the butt pop out. And it's going to include all of those areas, whatever you want to call the areas, whatever words you want to use, whatever. We're going to call it the waistline, and we're creating the hourglass figure, shaping the butt, making that booty pop, and making magic happen. But the cool thing is we have a quick quote system that now you don't need to have a consultation to get pricing. You just go through the quick quote system. And so Rachel, there's a link up in the post here on Facebook. You just click on the link, you go through the quick quote system, and you should do this, please do, so you'll understand what the process is. Go through the process, and then it's going to give you pricing. So say you're, 215 pounds and 5'2", and you go onto the quick quote system and you find out your BMI is, I don't know what that is, but let's say it's 36 or 38 or something like that. And then, okay, now we want to treat the front of the abdomen. Well, the front of the abdomen for a person with that BMI is going to be a certain price, right? And so it's just going to break things down. And then not only that, but the quick quote breaks it down even further, and there's specific guidelines as far as the safety protocol, in which we're not going to make recommendations. So like a larger individual, the protocol directs that our recommendations would be only to recommend treating the front of the abdomen, because the anticipation is that we're going to get an excessive amount of fat off of the front of the abdomen, and we want to be able to isolate where we treat to get the best possible results and get that fold to go away. And the only way we can get the fold to go away is to be ultra aggressive and get all that stuff off of there. Okay, Maribel, where are you located? We are in Vegas, baby. Short flight from pretty much anywhere. And you get to bring your husband, and he'll actually enjoy it, right? He'll be like, oh, we get to go do liposuction? Yeah. Or maybe that'll be you, like, we get to go liposuction? Your husband will be like, we get to go gambling. Yeah, crazy people ignore suggestions. You say that, it's a joke, obviously, right? They're not crazy, because the truth is like, I'm like the worst culprit of following directions. In fact, you'll find if you have any friends that are, in the medical profession, they don't follow directions. Especially nurses are so bad. Doctors, PAs are terrible following directions, because we know best for ourselves, right? So when I had liposuction, I had it towards the end of the day of work, and I do liposuction. So I had one of my colleagues did liposuction on me, and I was driving a motorcycle, and I was working in Beverly Hills at the time, and so I lived like 45 minutes away. So I rode my motorcycle home 45 minutes away. I'm all garmented up, got draining all this fluid. But I ride my motorcycle home, get home, take off the garment the first, as soon as I get home, because I'm all sweaty and I, you're all messy from the procedure. So I take off the garment, jump in the shower, and within like 2 minutes, I was like, boom, hit my head. I passed out and hit my head on the shower wall. Fortunately, my wife was there to help out, but I basically did all the things wrong, and I tell my patients, it's like, I sacrificed myself so you don't have to make those bad decisions, right? So I made the poor decisions so you don't have to. And so now the rules are, keep your garment on. You always got to be careful, because after these procedures, it's a high propensity of passing out when you take the garment off. And the reason is when you take the garment off, it's like all the blood rushes to that area, and it goes away from the brain. And when it goes away from the brain, you start to get lightheaded, tingly. You'll start to see stars, and next thing you know, you're on the ground. And which is not bad, because what happens is when you pass out, you lie on your back, and as soon as you lie out, you flatten, and the blood will regulate and go back to your brain, and everything will be fine. The bad part is if you fall and hit your head or hurt yourself, knock out teeth, and give you a black eye or something like that'll suck. You don't want that to happen. So you just got to be really careful. And again, follow the rules so these things don't happen to you. We have lots of stories of patients that have issues. So we try to share the consequences of those issues with you, so you can learn from their experience instead of making the mistake yourself and learning from your own experience. That's why also the group is really awesome, because these other people make the bad mistakes, right? They make the poor decisions or whatever the case, and they reap the consequences. And then you get to learn from their consequences. So let's say for example, they got a garment and they caused irregularities and folds in their skin in the healing process, and they ended up getting scar tissue and consequently irregularities from the skin being improperly compressed. So that's bad for them. It's going to look weird, right? And it's not an outcome that they're going to be happy with. However, you seeing that they did that and learning of how it happened will allow you to further decrease the chance of it happening by avoiding the things that they did wrong. And that's the power of learning from other people. You don't have to make every mistake yourself. In fact, it's better to learn from other people and change yourself. You don't have to make a mistake yourself. You can learn from someone else. Yeah, so Rena, so you're gonna go get that quick quote, and if you're, I'm not sure what your BMI is, but if you are larger, as you say, in most cases, we recommend treating the front of the abdomen first. So that would be the first step. Get your abdomen treated, and in most cases, you see from the pictures that we have these larger individuals when we treat the front of the abdomen. It's a huge, huge dramatic change, and I think that the front of the abdomen is typically where most women carry the bulk of their weight, and that's the part that gets in the way. So like when you're bending forward, it gets in the way when you try to tie your shoes, when you're doing anything, bodily cleansing type stuff. It's that's your belly gets in the way. So you're gonna find that there's amazing benefits that you had no idea and you didn't anticipate experiencing, but the results are amazing. And it's things that I try to talk about some of these little things, but the truth is some of these things are so little, you'll notice, you'll be like, and it'll just bring a smile to your face. You realize, when you put your pants on and you're able to button your pants, it's like, it'll just bring a smile to your face. I mean, you're not gonna go out and scream to the world like, yeah, I was able to button my shorts. But when you're able to do it and you hadn't been able to do it without like sucking in and holding your breath or doing some other, ritualistic type thing, it's a pretty cool thing, and I think you'll rather enjoy it. Or when you bend forward to tie your shoes and that big belly is not in the way, and you don't have to, you're not out of breath just trying to tie your shoes. Or going up and down the stairs and realizing that you can actually go up without being like having to stop and catch your breath. It'll just bring a smile to your face. And these are the little things that it'll just continue every single day, and you'll continue to notice them, about how your life is just a little bit easier, and it's going to continue bringing a smile to your face. And as it brings a smile to your face, you're just happy more often, and you're expecting happy because you see all these cool things that are happening to you that you want even more, and then it keeps you motivated to continue down that path of perfection or improvement or whatever it is that you're trying to get better at. You just got to keep plowing down that path and improve. And as you improve, it's like you see these pictures, she puts dates on here and things of that nature. And the cool thing is you look at these things like a year down the road and you'll get to compare. And you never want to look at a picture, a year ago and be like, wow, I wish I would look like that again. No, you want to continue to improve. You want to be like, whoa, I can't believe I looked like that back then. Thank God I've been doing what I'm doing now. That's the mentality. That's the way you want to see yourself, is you want to continue to improve. So every time you're taking new pictures, updated pictures, it's better than the past ones, and that's just physical. And I'm not talking about just physical too. You want to continue to educate yourself. You want to learn more, reading more. You want to, doing the things that are necessary for you to be stronger and more flexible. You can continue to advance many aspects of your life that just make you better. And as you improve, you're able to give more to other people. And it's like a cycle. It's a cycle of giving and receiving, giving and receiving. So you're helping yourself and doing all the things that are necessary to advance and know yourself better. And as you know yourself better and you learn these experiences, learn how to make things in your body change, you can start to show other people how you did it. And that's what's I think my purpose here on this planet is to help people along this path. It's a path of self-improvement. All of us here are, we're trying to learn how to become our best version. And I use these words like become our best version or live your best life, and they're very vague. And it's vague on purpose because your best version, my best version, are totally different. Or at least perceptions of them are different. I think that perhaps the potential is very similar. I think we all have the potential of doing more and being better, and you have the potential of being in great shape. There's always a potential. It's just a matter of whether you're going to do and pay the price to get there. You know, and when I say pay the price, it's like you put in the time, put in the effort, um, you know, pay whatever money it's going to cost for you to do the things that you need to do to get what you want. You know, there's ways that you can speed up these processes, but like you're not going to be super strong unless you put in the time and effort consistently for an extended period of time. That's just the way it is. It's you're not there's no like shortcut. You're not gonna go get on some machine and like crank up the machine and all of a sudden come out buff, you know, without doing any work. You got to pay the price. You know, there's no free lunch, and if you're not willing to work for the things that you want, then you're gonna have a hard time getting them, and you won't be able to hold on to them for very long. And so, you know, when the people that are expecting to get things without working for it, these are like lottery winners. You know, people that are just I'm gonna go, you know, $20 a week and you know, hopefully I win the lottery. And you know, if you win the lottery, it's usually the worst thing that happens to these people because they can't manage the money. You know, if you can't handle thousands of dollars, how are you going to handle millions of dollars? It just doesn't make sense. You have to practice on whatever level you're at. So if you know, you have to start, you know, managing your body at whatever level you're at now. And as you advance and grow, you're going to get more advanced and more proficient, more disciplined, and you'll be able to do more. It's a step process. There's like levels to this. So because I know there's levels to this, I try to speak in you know, very vague terms because so it's all inclusive, so you understand that you too, everybody has to deal with these different lessons, everybody has to deal with these different concerns, you know, but it's just the different level. When you start deciding on the activity levels that you want to do, start out small, you know, start out just go walk, you know, and maybe it's just walk around the block. Then, you know, each day you want to slowly start increasing the amount that you're doing. And the next thing you know, your tolerance is much bigger. Reina Reyes says, if I send pics this week, when can procedure be done? We might be able to rush you in to get you in this month. It's possible, maybe. But you should sign up for the consultation, you know, today and get that in. So I can, if you're interested in doing that, just call the office too. Let the girls know that you're trying to get things expedited, and so we will definitely help you with that as much as possible. Don't forget, join us on TikTok. Go ahead. Who's on TikTok? Seriously. And if you're on TikTok, do you watch the live videos on TikTok? Just curious. Because apparently, after you get 1,000 followers on TikTok, you're allowed to go live. And so I don't know how that works with the TikTok followers. If people are watching lives on there. But so if you're interested at this point, if you're new to this channel, you're gonna definitely want to go get our quick quote. The quick quote is it's a link up in the post here. Just simply click on the link and you're gonna be able to get pricing. It's really easy. Once you get the quick quote, the formal consultation is the next step. You send in pictures, and we develop a plan that will get you these type of results. And when we talk to you, we'll have an idea of expectations, which your expectations are, what our expectations are. And if you haven't joined the group yet, when you join the group, it's a way that you can connect and find other women that look similar to you. And not that they're an indication of what you will be, because obviously everyone's different, but it's just an example of what is possible. Because many women, it's like you get this big belly up here and it's hanging over, and you've had stretch marks and loose skin. Maybe you had 6, 7 kids even. Maybe you've gone to see plastic surgeons and they tell you, no, you have to be your ideal weight, or no, you need a tummy tuck. And so you're in your mind, you're skeptical, and you're like, this guy's telling me, you know, everything that I want to hear, and it sounds too good to be true. And you know, the skeptics start to kick in. So that's why, you know, I always tell people that, like, don't trust me. I mean, like, I want you to trust me, but don't only trust what I tell you. You got to go talk to these individuals, and you have to prove it to yourself, because ultimately you're the one that needs to understand what your process is going to be. And getting this procedure is a big step in your life, and it's permanent change, you know, and you have to be ready to change your life. So it's important that you're on the same page as us. And you'll see a lot of these pictures how these girls after these procedures, they're like, wow, I'd never show myself in a bikini, or I'd never get dressed up like that in skimpy clothes, I'd never do that. And so when you're this heavier set person, in your mind, those things are not within your realm of possibilities. So follow me what I'm saying here. When you feel a certain way about yourself, going out and dressing in certain clothes, being seen in certain areas, like perhaps going to a pool, wearing a bikini, wearing these like tight, slim, slim tight fit clothing. Like when you feel a certain way about yourself, these type of things are not within your realm of possibilities. Okay, and so because it's not in your realm of possibilities, you don't even think to make those type of things happen. So you will inherently be limiting your life, limiting your experiences, limiting the things that you get to feel and experience throughout this lifetime, and you're limiting it just simply because of the way that you look. So with the liposuction, we take off that fat, and all of a sudden it opens up a whole new realm, a whole new world of potential, a whole new world of possibility, a whole new world of experience. You see these heavier side girls, they wear these big moo-moo, these cover-ups, these drapey type clothes, and you think that it's covering stuff, but you're not fooling anybody. And I think on a subconscious level, you already know that. You already know you're not really hiding. You're hiding, but you're not really hiding, because we can imagine, we can see right through that stuff. We may not be able to imagine the details to everything, but we got a pretty good idea. Like, you got something that you don't want us to see. Like when you start dressing this way, people know. So when you're tired of feeling that way, or you're tired of feeling like you have to cover up, like you have to hide, because you shouldn't have to feel that way. And when you do that, when you do feel that way, you're essentially, let's just say, and these aren't real numbers in those studies, but let's just say that you're restricting yourself by like 30 or 40%. And so that means that you're only living 60% of what your potential life is, and you're restricting yourself another 30 or 40% because these insecurities, I feel a certain way about myself, I don't like this, a certain thing. And so when you restrict those things, you limit your life. And what I'm trying to do here is leverage this. I want you to understand how much it's really affecting you, and all the things that you're not able to do with your life, and the limitations that you have, and the things that the reason why you can't see that at this point, the reason why you can't see that is because you think this fat chick is normal. You think all the limitations that she has are normal. You think that you're supposed to be insecure. Not true. You think that everybody covers up, everybody's insecure. Not true. You don't have to feel this way. It's time to change. And all you have to do is make the decision. You say, I'm done with feeling this way. I'm done with it. I don't need that anymore. And so when you make that decision, then you start making new choices. Those new choices will change you. And Brittany Knowles, perfect example. And she's on here right now. Brittany's on Facebook. And if you haven't connected with her yet, she's on the Facebook group. She's there. She answers questions. And she, this is her. This is Brittany. She changed. And what comes with this level of security, this level of confidence, it's like, Brittany, what are you able to do now that you weren't able to do before? And when you start thinking about these things, as you get your procedure and you kind of are living your life, you got to start becoming more conscious of these things that you're able to do. Yeah, Brittany says to reach out to her. She's available. She's on the Facebook group. Yeah, Rachel. Brittany is a badass. And these are, we're not allowed to show the risque pictures that Brittany takes.
Go into the group for those.
Yeah, you gotta go to the group. These are just the teasers. Okay, so Brittany says, wearing a swimming suit, taking full body pictures, I'm confident. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I was I'm looking for influencers. I'm looking for people like that have like big followings to help us out. And I found some girls, and you can see these girls. I just know all the telltale signs, right? When you're heavier set and you don't want people to see your body, your postings are just the head. I mean, like literally above the neck, like you can't even see the shoulders because these girls, they're insecure about this stuff. So just the head is what these girls will be posting. Um, and then when you take pictures, you turn sideways, you wear dark clothes, you hide behind people. I mean, there's so many telltale signs. And the cool thing is when you start watching these journeys, like this young lady here, she she had the procedure a few years ago, but you can see how she's changed in the public eye. The things that she posts and the things that she's willing to post, and the excitement that these people experience after having this procedure. It's fun to watch, and now that we have the ability through social media to follow these individuals, and you can follow them. Just get on the group. The My Shape Lipo support group is on Facebook. It's a private group. So when I say private, it's protected. So not we can control the comments. So if people are making mean, rude comments, like if you're posting this picture and someone says something mean or rude, like delete, block, they're gone. Like without even, there's no question. We're not gonna say, hey, what were you thinking? Like just gone, because there's no room for negativity. There's none. We have to focus on the positive. Even when things don't go right, we have to focus on the positive and figure out how to make things better. And this is the only way that we're going to advance and grow together, is to stay positive and focus on the positive. Because when you start going down that path of focusing on the negatives, so even though you have a problem, there's no woe is me. It's like, okay, I have a problem. How do I solve it? What can I do to make it better? How could I have avoided this issue? That's the thought process. It has to be, how can we improve from the situation? Constant improvement, constantly positive, and how can we be better? How can we be better? What's the lesson that we can learn from a bad experience? Like that's got to be the mentality. If you're coming to these situations and you're talking negative, nobody wants to hear that. I mean, these girls don't. They are all in, and so no, they can't undo stuff. Like if they have whatever irregularity, you don't undo this stuff. You just do whatever you can to make it better. So don't try to make these people feel bad. You got to support them, and that's what the support group's all about. Yeah. So on Facebook here, Kat shared the link for the support group, so I pinned that up. Nobody's on TikTok yet, huh? Maybe you guys need to go open your TikTok. Open up a new TikTok account. Brittany says she can hike way longer without getting out of breath. No, it's like, I know when I used to be heavier. I was at my height. I was about 220 pounds, and I'm about 6'1". So I wasn't like massive, but for me it was big. I was thick, and I was so thick that I couldn't like reach around my back. I actually started having nerve issues because the fat was like blocking off my nerves, so my hands would go numb in certain positions. Like bending forward to tie my shoes was uncomfortable, because when I bent forward, the belly pushed back up in my stomach, so I had to fully breathe out, so I had enough room to lean forward. And I wasn't that big, so I can imagine larger individuals, it's got to be a nightmare. But I know from being leaner, everything's easier. It's so much easier to breathe. It's so much easier to move. I don't have joint pain. Inflammation is reduced. Life is good. It's good, and when you feel better about yourself, you can do more. I think that's really the advantage, and the only way that you're going to continue advancing and growing and becoming your best version is if you feel good about yourself. If you're not feeling good about yourself, you're not inspired, you're not motivated to continue to grow, then you're not. You know, I just saw some video Elon Musk was talking about the other day. He said, you know, the only way for things to get made is for people to make the things. You know, like it's so simple. It's so simple, right? The only way for these widgets to get made is for people to actually figure out how to make them, create the machines, and make them, right? Like they don't get made by themselves. You know, this country isn't going to continue to advance just because we think it should. It's going to continue to advance because everybody's continuing to grow and improve and advance and get better. And that's the way that our whole civilization will advance is we have to continue to improve. And it starts with you and it starts with me. And if we are advancing ourselves inherently, listen to how this works. If you improve yourself and I improve myself, inherently the whole thing rises. It's like the tide goes up, and the expectations are totally different. And think back to when, you know, a decade ago, the expectations of us when we were you know 10 years ago is totally different than the expectations today. The knowledge is different. It's totally different. We weren't aware of a lot of the things that we're aware of now. Some people were, but not the mass public. And now it's like the mass public has become conscious and aware of a lot of the bullshit that the government's doing, and so we're aware of a lot of things like the food, the toxins in the food, and the pesticides, and you know, so the organic nature of food. We're aware that um, you know, alcohol and cigarettes and you know sugar and processed food and these things are, we're aware that these things are so bad for us. And so because of that, we make different decisions now as a collective consciousness. We all make a different decisions. We're more aware of the environmental changes that are happening. We're more conscious of these things. So as a collective consciousness, meaning all of us, the way that we all think, the basic foundational beliefs that we have changed and elevated. And so it comes through you and through me. So as I change myself, you change yourself, the whole thing, the whole tide rises. So it starts with me. It starts with you making the change. You got to make the decision on a daily basis. You have to become the best. And imagine it's like there's always somebody watching you. Because if you're thinking that there's always somebody watching you, you're less likely to do the you know, to commit sins and do things against, you know, which with your better judgment. So imagine that someone's always looking over your shoulder. You're always trying to improve that, you know, impress that person. You know, whether that's you imagine your dad behind you or your teacher behind you, whoever it is. But there's always someone there watching. Just always do your best. Yeah, Rachel says group's amazing. Yeah, Brittany, get on TikTok. We got to do some content together. Okay, Jessica says around how much is it for a tummy tuck? Well, Jessica, none of our patients, 0 of our patients get tummy tucks. And they all avoid the tummy tuck through liposuction alone. So this is, if you don't want to do a tummy tuck, then this is a great option. If you don't want the big scar, then this is a great option. And you've probably been told that you have to do a tummy tuck. So I'm just, you know, if you have a different outlook now, you'll be able to see that you don't have to do a tummy tuck. Even these larger individuals, the skin retracts back quite nicely. So, you know, when you're told that you're going to have this empty sack of skin, it's a lie. It just doesn't happen. None of these girls have a tummy tuck, so you don't necessarily have to. But you know, don't trust me. If you really want to, if you only have loose skin, if the tummy tuck is great for cutting away loose skin. But if you have any fat, if you need fat removed, then don't get a tummy tuck. Get liposuction first. And in most cases, the skin retracts back so well you don't need a tummy tuck. But on the off chance, I mean, like, this is amazing, right? Skin's, you know, tightens up. Maybe it's a little bit looser than you want though, and if at some point you decide you want to cut the skin away, it's way easier to cut the skin away when there's no more fat behind. So once we've taken all the fat out of there, hopefully the skin retracts back and you're happy and you don't need a tummy tuck, and you avoid all that major surgery, the general anesthesia, the big scar, terrible recovery. You avoid all that stuff, um, and you just need liposuction. But on the off chance you decide that you do want to get the skin cut away, it's always possible. Always possible. But Jessica, highly suggest you go join our private Facebook group. Many of these pictures you'll see behind me, these individuals are on the private Facebook group. So you're on Facebook right now, just go search My Shape Lipo support group. In fact, there's a link right here, I pinned it on Facebook for the support group, and you can join the group and you can actually communicate with these individuals. So, you know, you're probably skeptical whether you need a tummy tuck or not at this point. If you believe that you were told that you had to have a tummy tuck, you probably are questioning it. So go connect with individuals that were similar to you. Brittany's getting, she's like her angry voice. I cannot stress enough. You don't always need a tummy tuck. They told me I needed one, and man, were they wrong. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, my hope is that we're able to save some individuals that were told that they had to have a tummy tuck. And I look at it as I'm like, we're saving them. Because you don't have to have a tummy. There's so many complications and issues with tummy tuck. You just simply don't have to have it. So I hope that we're able to save you in time before you go get the tummy tuck. Because even sometimes when these girls, they go get the tummy tuck, they come back and they still need liposuction. It's frustrating as hell because now you're paying for 2 procedures and nobody wants to do that. So the hope is that you don't need a tummy tuck. And as you can hear, you know, there's many of these girls, like Brittany's had 5 kids. We've had many of our patients had 6, 7, 8 kids, and it's possible, you know, 6 kids, 7 kids, 6 kids, and it just got to realize it's possible. If it's possible for these people, it's possible for you. Maybe it doesn't happen for you, but it is possible, you know, and it's worth a try. I think that the results are very, very consistent, and it's happened time and time again that people are getting the results that they're getting, and you know, we have people that are coming off, you know, it's like coming off the. I don't want to like make light of this, but like coming off the assembly line, you know, like everybody's like a rubber stamp. They all look the same, more or less, right? We take the front of the belly, the fold goes away, the skin retracts back, boom, next one. Take away the front of the belly, skin retracts back, fold goes away, boom, next one. And we're just gonna keep doing this, keep changing these individuals' lives, and you know, you should be next. You know, you see this stuff happen, and there's no reason for this FOMO. I was talking to my son about FOMO earlier, this fear of missing out. And he said, "Oh, I don't care. I don't need to miss out. I can miss out on stuff." But you know, when you see these other individuals that are getting these procedures and the results that they're getting, it's like I know there's that little thought in your head, like, man, what would it be like? Start asking yourself that, what if, you know, you start realizing, you start hearing my stories about the restrictions that people have and the things that they're able to get over, you know, and the health advantages and benefits, you know, like you may have high blood pressure, you may be a diabetic or pre-diabetic, you may have high cholesterol, you know, you may have PCOS, hormonal issues, and liposuction, it's amazing how well it just I don't know how it helps these things, but it just does. You know, there's theories on it. There, you know, we can conjecture all day long about what we believe is happening, but from your perspective, who cares? We suck the fat out, and blood pressure goes away. We suck the fat out, and you're not pre-diabetic anymore. You know, we suck the fat out, and the cholesterol comes back to normal, and you don't have to take medications anymore. Like, that's awesome. You know, you can get out of the trap, get out of that web of the Western medicine where they just give you medication for the symptoms. They don't solve any problems. They keep you on that medication forever, and then eventually those medications end up causing more problems. So you have to take more medication. So if we can get you out of that web, out of that trap that the Western medicine has you in, maybe you can stay out of it. Maybe you can stay out of it for a lot longer. That's the hopes. You know, I was talking to my mom about that the other day, and you know, she got caught in the web. You know, she you know, I don't know if it was eating poorly or whatever the case, but she ended up getting carotid artery disease, and she had to have surgery, and now she's on blood thinners and medications and medications and medications, and it's frustrating. But she has chosen to completely change her whole eating habits. She cut out processed sugars, she cut out carbs, she cut out gluten, anything that would be causing inflammation, and she's eating primarily a vegetarian diet. And it's like 180-degree turn, like totally changed her life. She's lost quite a bit of weight, which has made her arthritis significantly better. Her diet is promoting an anti-inflammatory process, so it's reducing all of her inflammation, which the arthritis in her hands and her knees and her back has improved, which is allowing her to be more mobile and do more now. So she's able to live her life more just simply by changing the diet. Brittany says, man, I didn't think twice about getting this procedure. I was on it, and I'm so happy I had it done. Ladies, it's life-changing in every way possible. Do it. I hear you, Rachel. Rachel. I hear you, Rebecca. Man, what is wrong with me? I'm like reading all these names. Brittany. No, I hear you. It changes. When you say it changes your life in every way possible, that's what I try to, how do you put words to that? When you say it changes your life in every way possible, how do you break that down? How do you get down to the like, how does it change? Like, what is, when you say it changes your life in every way possible, what is the little things? Like getting out of bed is easier, showering is easier, going to the bathroom and cleaning yourself is easier, washing your back and every night is easier, washing your face is easier. I mean, like these are little things that you just notice nobody talks about ever, and nobody's going to tell you, hey, you should get liposuction because you can reach around your backside. No one's ever going to tell you that. But the reality, the truth is that that's the awesomeness. That's the magic. That's the thing that you're getting way more than you thought you were getting, and it's going to change your life because of it. When all these little things pile up, they pile up to making a whole lot of awesomeness. And a whole lot of my life is easier, my life is better. And when you start thinking my life is easier, my life is better, the confidence goes through the roof. Because then you start doing more. And then when you start doing more, you got more experiences in happening in your life, and you're like, this is awesome. I love living my life. And cutting my toenails, right? Yeah. It's so funny, and I love hearing these things, like the little things that people tell me. And it's almost the more vulgar things that people say. That's the truth, right? That's the stuff that people are like, they're embarrassed to talk about. But that's the truth, that someone out there, they're also embarrassed to talk about it, so they don't say anything, and then they just deal with it, and that's the way their life is. And to them, that's now the new normal, and that's what they do. So hearing it from somebody else that you can actually change, you can actually improve, and those things aren't normal, and there's hope for you to get rid of those symptoms, those issues that you're having. There's hope. Man, to hear that stuff is like a breath of fresh air. What's up, Mario Maldonado? So we're gonna wrap this up here in just a minute. If you guys have any other quick questions. What's up, Rebecca, Vicky, Mariana, Miss Jimenez? Thank you so much for sharing everything today, Brittany. It's always fun when you jump on here. And if you girls don't follow Brittany yet, you should definitely jump on our group and follow her journey. You can see, if you just click on her name, you can see all of the pictures that she's posted and the things that she said. Brittany says, the only thing this procedure has caused problems with is whipping my butt. Those cheeks are real. By whipping your butt, I'm guessing that guys or your husband or somebody keeps smacking your butt because your butt's popping out and looking awesome. So, and that's another thing that right, we say, the bad thing is after this procedure, you have to go get a whole new wardrobe because nothing fits you right anymore. The clothes you had, or if they do, you're tired. They're too big, and you don't want to have these drapey clothes. You meant to say wiping. Yeah. Okay, you said whipping. So that that takes us down a whole different path, right? All right, but yeah, and so and I hear these, especially like these girls, they also have heard like the larger bellies where it folds, and when you have that right at that fold, you get the in that fold, that moisture occurs, and when you have moisture all the time, it tends to degrade the skin, and so you get like rashes, and you get fungal infections, and it's smelly. So we're talking about underneath this fold right here, and a lot of these girls, it's always there, and so keeping it clean is very difficult. And I've seen girls that they have to like lift it up and put something dry in there, and then have that fold over to just try to keep it dry for long enough for it to heal. But once you get some type of sore in there, it's really difficult to get it to heal because it's constantly wet and constantly moist, where there's like the ability for bacteria love that. So it's bad, and unless you have that problem, it doesn't seem like a real problem. But once you have it as an issue, it sucks real bad. So and it's something that with liposuction, when that fold goes away, so does the problem. And it's like that thing that sucked every day no longer sucks every day, and your life's a lot better. So anyhow, we're gonna wrap this up. Go get your quick quote. When you're serious, ready to change your life, when you want to start living the best life, and solve all these little problems, all these little issues, then the next step is a formal consultation, and we'll get you in as quick as possible. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, maybe Friday.